Release it now, fix it later. That is a trend that Mattel has been following for years, since as early as like 2007, when they were only in the second year of making cars. That is how long they have been basically doing inaccurate releases and then correcting them later. And sometimes they just don't even correct them. They'll just release it inaccurately, and even though there's like the source material shows that it's wrong, they just never fix it, and they keep doing the same incorrect thing over and over and over again. So let's talk about that, because I think it's an interesting conversation topic to have, because it happens way more than I think a lot of people realize. And I'm only going to be highlighting a few specific examples today, but it happens a lot. So, hello everybody, welcome back to the Trunk Fresh Green 34 channel. I have this is obviously a bit of a different video today. This is more of an original piece. I'm going to be talking about something kind of unique to my channel and unique to a lot of other cars channels. Think of this as like a special presentation a la Marvel Studios' Werewolf by Night, something unique, a fun little one-off, and I might make this a series. I might do more topical videos like this in the future if this one does well and you guys are interested. But yeah, let's just dive right in. Let me just adjust my camera here. And perfect. So, let's start off with items that Mattel did correct over time. Because, despite all the hate, or not hate, but all the critiques, there we go, all the critiques that we give Mattel, they actually do fix things sometimes. So, I have them some of the more major ones set up here, and we're going to kind of go in order. So, Fabulous Hudson Hornet came out in, I believe, 2007. That is, I know this version for sure is 2007. And as you can see, looks pretty fine. Looks like a normal Fabulous Hudson Hornet, except it is the wrong rims. He is using the regular white wall street rims, quote-unquote, that he has in his regular release, which is not what the Fabulous Hudson Hornet wears, at least not in the movies. It's possible that at some point off-screen, while in the Fabulous Hudson Hornet paint job, Doc switched to the street rims, but that never happens in the movie. The Fabulous Hudson Hornet has always been depicted, even in Cars 3, with red rims. They did correct this, as you can see here. And yeah, this is one of the more distracting ones, because you look at it and you know it's wrong. It's not one of those like incredibly small things that we'll cover in a bit that you don't really think about, but here you can very clearly see there is a difference. One of them is clearly wrong, and it's this silver-rimmed version. Now, I'm kind of silly. I had the corrected version. The corrected version was the first and only one that I had. Then I found this version at a store, and I knew it was the inaccurate one, so I bought it. Not a store. It was a toy show. I did not find this in a store in, I think it was, 2017 when I bought it. But for some reason, I decided to open it. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. It wasn't. It's old. It was an accurate version. I should have just left it in the package. But now I have both docks loose to show you that there was a problem. But yeah, that one, like I said, I think that's a more distracting one. And fortunately, though, it was one they fixed pretty quick. I think they fixed it pretty much the year after. I don't think they waited too long on that one. This one, though, was even faster to correct. Here we have Smokey. Again, it looks like just two Smokies. It looks like the one on the left has a different expression than the one on the right. However, as soon as you flip them over like this, you can immediately see, yeah, they're very, very different. This is the May 1st Smokey. This is the Smokey that came out with the debut of all the Cars 3 stuff in May 1st, 2017, in the first singles case. This one, actually, this is the one I found, funny story, before May 1st at a video game store. I don't know why the video game store had Cars 3 diecasts. I think this is the only time they've ever had Cars 3 diecasts. And the only character that I needed from the selection they had there was Smokey. So it's one of the few Cars 3 diecasts I got before May 1st. But that's besides the point. Point is, the debut Smokey was wrong. Now, when it first came out, I didn't really have a problem with it. However, when you watch the movie, it's very clear that it's not fully accurate. The biggest thing is, of course, the length. As you can see, the Smokey over here is much, much longer. If I put them side by side like this, you can see this one sticks out a fair amount more. It's hard to see on the camera for some reason. I don't know why. I had that problem with another review I did recently. But yeah, you can see it's longer. The one on the right is longer. It has a longer bed in the back compared to this one. Now, I don't know why they decided to do it small, because Heyday Smokey, which was on the Cars 3 diecast poster before May 1st even, that one was very clearly using this model. So, Heyday Smokey in the short bed model, while I believe there are stock photos for it in the short model, it never came out that way, and it seems like it was never planned to come out that way either. So they clearly had the long bed version on their mind. I don't know why they did this one first then. I don't know, maybe they made the decision to do Heyday Smokey in this model little late, but because it wasn't coming out till later in the year, they still had time to adjust it, whereas they had already started shipping out these like May 1st Smokies that were inaccurate. Now, it's not just the size. This Smokey also has an extra tire down here. It's such a random detail because, yeah, this one doesn't have it. I don't know why they did that, but in any case, yeah. This Smokey does look a lot better. I found that one at Toys R Us. I remember that. I found that one at Toys R Us. And this one, like I said earlier, it was corrected really quickly. Only like not even 6 months, I don't think. I think it was like 4 months. And this one was already making its way out. I don't know why. I don't really know why this one was corrected so much faster than others, but again, it was presumably because Heyday Smokey was already planned to use the longer model, so they just, they didn't really have to adjust too much. So yeah, that is the story of Smokey, corrected within the same year. Like, that's pretty impressive. Here is another one that has to deal with size. Roscoe. Roscoe, of course, came out in mid-2017. I think it was like June, late June, early July, probably closer to July. And he's tiny. He's very tiny. Here is a, wait, where is it? Oh, here we go. Here's a Cars 3 Lightning McQueen. And you can see, like, they are pretty much the same size. Like, it doesn't really look right, especially when you, like, look at the scene in the movie. Because if you don't look at the scene in the movie and you just kind of see this, it doesn't look that bad. But then you see what the size comparison is in the movie, and it's like, oh yeah, that's clearly not right. And it's not. So it was released like this in multiple cases in 2017. And then in 2018, they came out with this deluxe Roscoe, who is, as you can see, quite larger. Like, a lot larger, actually. And it looks so much better next to, like, the Cars 3 McQueen. It looks just way, way better. Now, this one kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I thought it was really weird that they were, like, already upgrading Roscoe to the deluxe, because it's like, the thing is with the main lines and how they plan them, that had to have been planned pretty early on. Like, I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. I think it's extremely weird that this ended up happening, but yeah, I don't know. They fixed it. They fixed it pretty early. It only took about a year. Actually, a little less than a year, because the big Roscoe came out in, like, the spring of 2018, so it was a little less than a year they fixed it. Now, in the case of Roscoe and Smokey, you can kind of forgive it, because they were presumably working off concepts for the movie. They didn't actually see the movie. They didn't have a sense of size. So that one makes sense. But then you get stuff like the Fabulous Hudson Hornet, where The incorrect version came out after the movie did. I feel like they should have known that it was wrong, but whatever, they fixed it, it's fine. Now, kind of continuing off of that notion of working off of concepts, here is a Cal Weathers from May 1st, 2017. I think this is the one that came with the Bobby Swift 2-pack. And it looks the exact same, except for one major difference on the roof here. Let's see if I can focus in on it. Yeah, as you can see, it actually says Hank Weathers and not Cal. What we've kind of learned is that Cal Weathers was originally called... Actually, he had a few names. At some point before they finally landed on Cal, there's merchandise listings that called him like Strip Weathers Jr. There was stuff that referred to him as Hank Weathers, including this diecast, which kind of shows how late the change to Cal was. Like, they had already been producing the diecasts, and it ended up being inaccurate and then they finally landed on Cal Weathers as the name. Now again, this one was corrected early on as well. Like, I think literally it was corrected in the next singles case. Like, that's how fast it was. But there are versions that are released that say Hank, and that is of course not accurate. So yeah, some stuff they can't help being inaccurate because it is due to just the concepts from the movie that they're working with. Maybe they're outdated and they have to wait till the movie comes out before they actually know what is what. But then there's ones that I don't really think make much sense. Like Miles Axlerod. I recently did a video on Miles Axlerod with and without the microphone. Actually, when this video goes up, that video won't be out yet. I'm recording all of my videos recently out of order, so this video is probably going to go up before the actual Miles review does. But in it, I noticed something interesting. As you can see here with Miles, his grill here, it's very hard to see because it's all painted black, but there are bars in the middle of it. And those bars, if you look on the artwork that they've been using since 2011, the bars are supposed to be white. But the diecast is wrong. This is my 2011, this is my original Miles Axlerod. And the artwork on that is correct. So they were clearly working off of material that was accurate enough to depict what Miles should look like. But that's not how he turned out. But, as you can see with this Miles Axlerod with microphone, it was eventually corrected and they did switch to white bars. I don't know if that was fixed just on this Thailand release with the microphone. I'm assuming the Thailand regular Miles also has this fixed. And I think it's a possibility that the China Miles with mic has this fixed as well. I don't know for sure though. But in any case, it's been corrected now. So it's not really a huge deal, but they did correct it eventually. And another thing is the solar panels look way better on this new mic version than the original. This doesn't even look like a solar panel. This has the proper coloring. But yeah, another weird one that really could have easily been avoided. I don't know what the deal is with that. Another card that I took a look at recently that was fixed was Andy Vaperlock. His is a bit interesting because there wasn't really that much wrong with it inherently. The big issue was just the rust detailing, and I'm going to try and put a picture up on the screen of what the original China release looks like, because I don't have that version, so I can't show you guys what it should look like. But in any case, the rust detailing wasn't nearly as accurate to the movie on the original as this new Thailand release is. So again, another little correction that they made. And again, a weird one, because Andy Vaperlock came out in 2016. They had artwork to use. They had the movie to use. It should have just been accurate from the get-go. I don't know why it wasn't, but it's very weird. Another one, Yellow Ramone. This is my China Yellow Ramone. As you can see, it's an extremely dark, almost metallic gold yellow. it's kind of goofy that they went with this color because it's not metallic gold in the movie at all. It is this like flat yellow color that the Thailand Yellow Hydraulic Ramone release in 2019 actually fixed. They switched the color to something more accurate. Now, of course, we're comparing the regular and the hydraulic version, but the China hydraulic yellow Ramone also had this dark color that was wrong. So the hydraulic one has been fixed. And again, such a weird one. Like, I can understand maybe the yellow one, like the regular yellow one, but even then, not really, because I don't think that Ramone came out until like 2008 maybe. Like that was not released early on, I don't think. And then especially when they got to the yellow hydraulic version, because surely at that point they had to realize that it was wrong. It's so baffling. Sometimes with the inaccuracies, I can kind of forgive it. Like I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially in the case of like Smokey and Roscoe, given the circumstances. But then you get stuff like yellow hydraulic Ramone, and it's just like, why? But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that they did eventually fix it. I just think it took way too long for them to do that. Now, another one that came out, or that was fixed around the same time as Yellow Hydraulic Ramone, was Terry Kargas. Now, I don't have the corrected version, so I'll try and put a picture of that up on the screen as well. But as you can see here, he's just not the right model. This is the 2017 version that came out in late 2017, and he's using the Cal Weathers mold. The Cal Weathers mold is only used on Cal Weathers himself and all of the returning Cars 1 racers. So stuff like Dirksen D'Agostino, Darren Leadfoot, Ponchy Wipeout, Murray Clutchburn, they all use the Cal Weathers model. Terry and, of course, Cal were seemingly the exceptions. However, people watch the movie and realize that Terry is actually supposed to be the Brick Yardley model. And they finally fixed that in late 2019. They updated him to that new model, or the Brick Yardley model, and it became rare, unfortunately, which is why I don't have it. Hopefully, I can get one in the future because it's really nice. Like, I think they actually did a really good job translating him to that new model. So, again, a weird one, and kind of the same deal with like Smokey and Roscoe in that, you know, they were presumably working off old concepts, or they just didn't get the model right when they were looking at it. That's a possibility too. Another correction that I actually forgot to bring out, that was corrected at the same time again as Terry Kargas and Yellow Hydraulic Ramone, was Kris Revstopski. So late 2019, they like really went crazy with corrections, and they did like a streak of just updates after updates to several older releases. Kris Revstopski came out in late 2017, much like Terry, and used this pickup model. I think this is pretty close to Dexter Hoover's model, and it's fine. I didn't really have a problem with it. But again, you look in the movie, you realize it's wrong, and then it becomes distracting. Late 2019, they corrected it to this closed bed pickup truck, which is a completely different model than this Kris Revstopski model. The flag is now also being held over down here instead of up on the mirror, which didn't make sense to begin with. And the expression is drastically different. Fortunately, this is a correction that has remained consistent. In 2020, they did Kris Revstopski with a white flag, which was also on the corrected model. And in 2021, they did a Kris Revstopski with a yellow flag, also on the corrected model. So that one they've like clearly realized has to be on this model, and they've just kept using it, which is great. There's been a few rare cases where they correct something and then they regress. They go backwards to the inaccurate model again, and it's so frustrating. But Kris Revstopski here, updated once, and it's been consistent since then. Now, we still need an updated Kris Revstopski with the checkered flag, which they were planning on doing, but was canceled, and they did the green flag instead, and then the white flag, and then the yellow flag. So hopefully checkered flag is next. I'm pretty confident that they'll do that one eventually, but Again, another correction that I'm really glad that they did. While I was talking about Kris, I remembered yet another correction from late 2019. This one, this was probably the one I was the most happy about. Heyday Junior Moon. So in late 2017, they did a 4-pack where you got, I believe it was Heyday Smokey, and then 3 exclusive releases, being Heyday Riverscott, or was it Heyday Riverscott? No, I don't know if it was. Might have been Dirt Track Fabulous Hudson Hornet, actually. I don't know. But it did have Heyday Junior Moon and a Heyday Louise Nash. I think Heyday Riverscott was in it, actually. I don't know. In any case, though, Junior Moon and Louise Nash were in it for sure as their Heyday versions, and they looked awful. Louise Nash, you could barely tell was different. The Heyday Louise Nash should have had a much pinker roof than it did. That one still has not been corrected. I'm hoping they do that eventually, because they did get around to Junior Moon, but they haven't fixed Louise Nash yet. But the reason why Junior Moon was so bad was because he didn't even have the racing number, being his number 11. The Louise Nash pink roof thing, okay, I mean, I guess maybe they just didn't see that in the movie, but how do you miss the number? Like, that seems so, like, hard to miss. It was so confusing, I didn't understand it, and it was a pretty pointless pack at the end of the day, because they just looked barely different from each other. However, they came to their senses and they updated the Junior Moon, Heyday Junior Moon, in late 2019. And again, they've kept that correction consistent. Heyday Junior Moon still has the number 11 in his 2021 re-release, which is awesome. Glad they've done that. So yeah, like I said, they went on a slew of corrections. I think, what else did they do in late 2019? I think Ponchy Wipeout got a correction. I think with they switched up his eyelids. Let me pull out Ponchy and I can show it. Ooh. I don't have the corrected version, but he had black outlines, or not even black outlines, he had black eyelids altogether on his original release. I don't know why. There was even like stock photos of Darren Leadfoot having these black eyelids, but there wasn't one that released like that. But Ponchy's did, and it was so baffling because it's distracting, it looks bad, and it's clear that that's not what it's supposed to look like in the movie. I don't understand what happened here, and hilariously enough, this is something they haven't really, like, they didn't really correct this right away. I think there were some multi-packs that came out with Ponchy in like late 2017 and 2018 that still had the wrong eyelid color, and then in 2019 they finally fixed it and did a version with the blue eyelids, which was it was needed. It was one of those corrections, much like Heyday Junior Moon, that they really needed to do. And yeah, I'm glad they did, because it looked terrible. Now, there are some times where Mattel doesn't correct something for years, even though they should. Bling McQueen, the biggest offender, in my opinion. Looks fine until you get to the rims. The rims, which have the piston cups on them, the piston cups are supposed to be gold, while the rest of the rim is silver. But in every version of Bling McQueen, the entire rim is silver, including the new Thailand version that just came out this year. It's still inaccurate, which blows my mind. I don't know why. Some people have argued that it would be too difficult to get the detail correct for it because you'd have to like paint each individual piece gold. But then it's like, look at Miles' Axlerod here. Look, they have all those tiny yellow pieces in the rims. If they can do that, they could absolutely do Bling McQueen with correct rims. It blows my mind that they just haven't done that yet. It makes no sense, and it's frustrating. I don't like it. I don't like that they didn't fix that, because it's so easy. It's so easy. It's such a minor one. It's like the Heyday Junior Moon and the Ponchy Wipeout. It's an easy one that would just make a lot of sense. And yeah, little rant over. Now there are sometimes, like I said, let me pull up this Sally that's way over here, where they regress. Sally over here has had a pretty notorious regression in the last few years. Let me go and grab some other Sallies so I can show this off properly. Okay, so on the left here, we have the original Sally that they had pretty much been using from 2006 all the way until 2018, where they switched her to a more upgraded model. Here's the metallic Sally that uses that upgraded model because I don't have the regular updated model Sally because it was kind of hard to find. Anyways, they switched to that upgraded model. Then Thailand took over and they moved Sally back to this model for no reason. And then Thailand did metallic Sally in the updated model, which proves that Thailand was capable of doing it. So they went backwards for no reason and then went forwards with just the metallic version. So that already makes no sense. And then Thailand did Pixar Fest Sally, which is another metallic Sally, in the pancake model instead of the accurate one. Like, I don't... Oh. It's frustrating. It is unbelievably frustrating when they do this because the updated 2018 Sally model is so much better. Like, it is shocking how much better it looks compared to the original. And quite frankly, it's frustrating that they just keep going backwards. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. And they did this a couple other times in 2018 around that same time frame. They came out with a what was it? It was like Mater with 95 hat, I think, with an like upgraded model. Like they made him look more like the Precision Series model. And then they never applied that to the regular Mater model, but Thailand kept using it for like other they used it with Mater with Lightning Bolt hat first. Then Thailand came in, used it for Mater with 95 hat, but they never applied it to regular Mater. It doesn't make sense. But then I think China updated Ramone and Flo in 2018 to look like the Precision Series versions. And I think Thailand still uses those models, like they kept the updates for those. Overall, it's just confusing. It's a confusing mess when Mattel does something inaccurately and then corrects it later, because so many times it can be avoided. But yeah, let me know in the comments your thoughts on Mattel's, release it inaccurately and fix it later type approach. I don't really have a huge problem with it unless it's like something that could easily be avoided, like, the yellow Ramone we talked about, Ponchy Wipeout, Heyday Junior Moon especially. I think that's a really bad one. I don't know how they messed that one up. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, like I said, I want to do more videos like this. I'm not going to commit to a time frame on them because this is a pretty lengthy video and I want to have like a good topic in mind before I cover something like this. So again, basically, yeah, I don't know when the next one will be, but if you really liked this video, let me know in the comments and give me feedback and give me topic ideas, because like I said, I would like to do more, but I need some topics. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye now.